Okay, good morning, guys. It's Friday. Trying to stay awake. I'm about to short soon on LOW. That's Lowell's. No hurry. Look at the daily here. I can draw a trend line like this. This one high was well 121.80s basically. This high was 121.71. This one was 121.68. Right now we're at 121.76. And this high was 121.46. Okay, so it's kind of sketchy where it could a good entry would be, but it's soon. That's all I really know. Look at the 15s here. No red candles just yet, and it's just riding along the band of this VWAP right there. On the Discord app, we have a double dip announcing that. What do you say? Um, Housing permit data release from this morning may be causing this climb. He also announced that Home Depot is up as well. That's good to know. That means to me that means be careful. So here's the 5 minute chart, and you can kind of see where it could retrace back to this area right here. And you also notice that I don't really take these so seriously, but you can tell that when it hits the band, generally it comes back, but right now it's riding the band, right? And then if it overextends, especially when it gets past, it'll whip back. It's going to be hard pressed for this one to, break through that band unless it gets really exponential. Also, another concern I have is the volume. How the volume is still relatively low. It's not climbing, so I'm just gonna wait. And this right here would have been a really good fake out. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Hey, good morning, Turf. Good morning, Smear. Just watching LOW here for a possible short. I may get tricked into this trade, which is fine. It'll come in small, so I'm gonna type on the Discord app. Low short. Just prepare myself for the entry. So I'm gonna short it below this right here. So I think that's the 5 minute trigger. Yeah, 5 minute trigger would be like bottom of this candle here, 121.66. Watching the level 2 here, trying to see if I can get a good entry. Under 121.66. Part of me is hoping that it doesn't go because I want it to test that band, test this pink line. Is that pink? Kind of colorblind a little bit with the reds. Looks like pink. Oh, it's pretty. Hey, good morning, Scott. I'm back for today. What would be awesome would be that if it hit 121.94 and it got hopefully touched 122, then you know the stars have aligned, and by also the volume probably spiked a bit, and then good things happen. You know, everything, there's perfection there in the chart. What's this one at? 121.96. It always seems to get really close to 122 and it just never does. 5 minute chart. Okay. Low is 121.68 now on the 5 minute trigger. Yeah, I may actually have a little starter underneath the 5 minute trigger, which is 121.68 at the moment. Go sit down real fast. Ugh. This is a great thing about a standing a really tall table. I can sit and stand and relatively be at the same height of the camera. Not that you really need to see me. But I had a friend that said, Ivan would tell me if only he could see my expression. So here's my expression. Okay, let's hope. I'm kind of hoping that it pops, just to make things more interesting. Getting ready to enter. Just typing it in, just so I can execute the chat room, notify the chat room faster. Guys, remember, if you are trying to follow me, um, don't copy my trades. Obviously, I won't let you. I'm not telling you the amount of shares I'm in, but if you're trying to follow me, paper or just small shares, you may want to be on the Discord app, on Newbie Trading, because YouTube has a pretty nice 20-second plus lag, according to Turf. And thanks for notifying me on that. Oh, Turf, you remember Ivan? Awesome. Hopefully he sees this. And now it's going down a bit, and it hasn't hit the 121.68, but now it's going sideways. Do you notice that? It's not riding the Bollinger Band. That's, to me, that's not a good sign, honestly, unless it's going to do a curl down. But I don't, it's giving me it's making me a little uncomfortable here now. So definitely not going large. And it's not like I can because it's so expensive. So one quarter of a day trader's buying power would be roughly 200 shares, according to the chart. And that's really nothing. With a 25 cent, not 25 cents, the high is 84. So really it's going just straight sideways. Let's see a pop. Come on, low. Walmart news, according to Turf on Discord. Oh yeah, that's something. Walmart had a nice dip there with a lot of volume. You guys want to see what Turf announced on in the chat room right here? Boom. Breakdowns from today's low, and it's recovering. This would be a really nice scalp if you could catch it. Okay. Alright, this is kind of what I want to see. I want to see what it's doing right now. How it just didn't quite trigger on 5s because it was going sideways, and now here comes the pop. It's getting at a good number now. Really wish it would just hit 122 or maybe past that Bollinger Band. Oh, very good point, Bear. Most of us has Benzinga. That would tell you that they'll probably have announced most likely that news. So if you have trade ideas, I mean, Thinkorswim, which you should because it's dirt cheap, you can have Benzinga and turn Charlie on, and he'll tell you what's going on in the world before the news do, which is really interesting. I mean, it seems like if you really want the inside scoop of the news, or at least the rumor of the news prior to it even being shown on any major channel, you might as well get on Benzinga because they seem to know everything before, or at least bits of what's going on in the world. It's awfully quiet right now. Nobody's talking. Trade ideas, and Charlie isn't saying anything today. I don't think, unless my audio's off. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Lindsay. Okay, here comes a nice number. 121.98, very close to 122. So, but did it just is one? Okay, awesome. Really nice number here. So this is what I saw earlier. How it was, excuse me, right next to this trend line here on the daily. Now it's past it. It's a good chance for it to create its first wick. Look at all these green candles, guys. There hasn't been a single a red candle, but the volume is going down. So that's one strike for this stock. And on the 15s, you see this, the trend line right here. That it passed up, and this one right here is at a high of 121.96, and we're past that now. And like I was saying earlier, I would really like for it to just get past a little bit past this band. Not that I really use this VWAP band much, but if you could tell from the past, sometimes it hits it hard and it bounces back. Right now, the stock is just riding it. And according to the Discord app, Double Dip says that housing is up. So this is Lowe's, so it's directly related. He also said that Home Depot is up 122. Beautiful. And this is why patience kind of pays. If you were in earlier because you thought it would be coming down from here, hopefully you had a tight stop when it started going sideways, because it kind of resets itself for a pop.
Shares of Walmart now getting a little bounce here. 115.64. Again, that report from Dow Jones that the company shaking up some of their executive staff.
And
WMT.
And that will be Charlie on Benzinga telling you about Walmart. That's cool. Those kind of catalysts are really good for scalps. Definitely, I don't know if I'll be able to. Hold on a second. Maybe. Okay. I actually got a really nice price at 194. Okay, I'm short low at 121.94 for a few reasons. That it passed a trend line on the 15s, and that there hasn't been a single red 15 candle on the daily. It looked like it was, a trend line at 121.60s, and it hit 122. Those are my areas of conviction, my reasons for my conviction. Now, the only concern is, main concern is volume. The volume's low. Good morning, Ibo. And the other slight concern is that it's riding this top VWAP band, and it's not really quite breaking past it. And according to historically the past few days, every time it hits it, it breaks back down, kind of like a Bollinger Band, like a rubber band effect. And it really hasn't really hit it. So that's my only concern here. Oh, so right. Somebody yesterday, Bjorn had wanted me to leave the lines. So right now my entry is 121.94 right here. I should mark it right at the candle that I entered. Did I get it right in the right place? Yeah, okay. 121.94. Right now it's still moving up a bit. But the entry's still not that bad, I mean, all things considered. I'm gonna turn Benzinga off. Just, I mean, heard Charlie's voice for now, because I can't really tell how loud he is. Yeah, I don't know why I'm using it. Honestly, Turf just commented how this is the first time he's seen me use the VWAP pad. Yeah, I don't, it's just a study, and I do, I do really take the purple line, the actual VWAP seriously, but the bands, it's kind of just like the Bollinger Band, but whatever. It's kind of cool. But thanks for noticing, Turf. Yeah, you can find all different reasons using studies to stay in the stock. I just have to be mindful that I'm not lying to myself and trying to find something that actually, well, none of these study actually lies to you, right? This camera is making me short. Let me just turn this down a little bit so I can point right at my crotch. Nope, not working. That's it. Okay. Yeah, okay. No, it's kind of working. Just want it just to go. Obviously, we just want everything just to go. So let's see if triggers. Let's talk about triggers here. So basically, I took it on a one. Well, not really. I took it at a 1 minute trigger, but a 2 minute trigger would have been here. And safe is always 5 minute triggers. So a 5 minute trigger would have been here. The lows would be 121.84. So I got it at a 121.94. I kind of went early. Ryu says trading is a lonely journey. Your stream makes me less lonely. Thanks, man. You can feel my. Well, hopefully you can't, but when you're in a stressful environment, it's always nice to be surrounded by people that share the war. Yeah, definitely. I have on my other computer my friends telling me their trades. Well, not friends, more like family. I have 3 people that are. They're the ones that told me to start up the channel again. But quite honestly, I do foresee myself taking a couple of weeks off because I'm almost in the close to closing on the land I bought for the dog facility that which is my primary goal. This is just kind of a pastime. Not that I need a pastime, because buying land and trying to build something on it for the first time it's not easy at all. I'm just kind of procrastinating, honestly. No, I never target the View app. If you get on the Discord app and you see Jeremy go, they'll talk about hitting the View app all the time. They have a lot of patience. I'm the kind of guy that goes a little bit. I always tend to find area where I'm comfortable and kind of push the amount of shares that I can handle, uh, cardiovascularly. I wouldn't say emotionally, but there's a threshold that you can take physically. For instance, if you're trading and you feel like you're about to faint, that means you hit your threshold. But I'm laugh at that because it's the honest truth. I've probably felt like guys, I called 911 at least twice, within 1 month, and I actually had a nervous breakdown uh, during a trade. That's why I'll never trade China stocks, because they were halting all the time at that year. Um, but that was the process of learning, near death experiences. Luckily for me, the guy that rang the doorbell, the ambulance guy, the medic, happened to be the same guy twice. So I didn't feel that embarrassed. I can't really hide how you want to be trader. He asked, does your wife know you trade or you hide it? He, oh, right. I saw you mention that yesterday in the stream and when I was looking over the questions. Um, no, she knows. She knows I trade. Actually, um, I try to get her into trading, but she gambles too much during the summertime because she's the teacher, so she had extra time. And when I was learning how to get my groove in trading, I let her trade, and wow, I didn't like what I saw, so she had to stop. I had to get her off the keyboard, but she got hooked because to her it was a gamble. And you know that term getting hooked is a bad thing when you're trading. So yeah, she knows, and you know I can't hide the my channel because my channel is full of unlisted family videos that I had listed and everyone hated it, so I unlisted it. So every time I have a chance to render one of those family vacations of hers, that's her family by the way. Yeah, she gets notified, so I can't hide anything really. So you will never hear any secrets or embarrassing things about my wife. Hey, good morning, Locke. How is your other family progressing? Other family? In trading? Oh, in trading. You're doing good. Um, Honestly, they are actually following me to a T. Um, they are seeing my, they are, they have the ability to see my account. But it's not like they understand, they also understand the risks behind it. I'm talking slower because I'm watching this have a couple of green candles here and it's concerning me a little bit. But according to Double Dip, man, guys, you need to get on newbie trading because he, Double Dip is always just informing all of us of the little stuff. And all the little stuff matters. When he said gold is spiking and the market's dipping, they go hand in hand. He's always talking. He always has some really strong. The little stuff matters, and I don't even have to bother looking around for the news to know what's going on because people on this chat is just being really helpful for me. Just to focus. Hey Lou Gonzalez. Hey Albert, I'm glad to see you start up your YouTube again this year. Thanks, man. It may be short-lived, you know. I can't do this every day, every week, but I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm out a little bit. Out half low at 121.76. Just for that pop. Wannabe Trader asks, how long do you think you'll be doing this YouTube? As long as I can, until once I once it gets to a point where they start doing the survey on the land and all, that's when I really need to just hang up the line for a little bit just to focus on that. Because then I really own the land, everything's signed, and I need to know I'm not getting screwed over. Well, at least, well, actually, by then it's too late, isn't it? So, you know, everything, I'm assuming, I've never done this before, but every time you build something, there's always going to be an obstacle. And if there's a really big obstacle, I have to be on site to see what's going on. And then once that's concluded, I can get back on trading. But like something like this, I mean, you know, I haven't slept this poorly in the past 2 weeks just because I've been doing this YouTube thing. Because I'm always looking forward to the very next morning. And I didn't sleep until like 3:30 a.m. last night. So I need to take some breaks. And I can't just use the weekends because on all honesty, weekends I have the least amount of sleep because my wife's home. So then she kind of expects me to be there for her. Because other than this, my job is to play with dogs. I mean, where's the stress in that, right? Kinda. So I can draw a line right here. See this resistance line at 121.81. Kinda 121.81, 121.83. This morning I just I'm always too late in the morning, but on Newbie Trading's chat room he entered Microsoft. He did really good on that one. I think. Yeah, he did. He caught the dip in the morning. Did he catch it early? Yeah, I think he did. Generally, the best, in my opinion, statistically, the easiest counter trends are after three 15-minute candles. So after 45 minutes of the open. Oh, that's awesome, Lou. Being a contractor, budget for a lot. Oh, would be to budget for a lot more time than you originally thought. His advice on the building process. He says, I am a contractor and I mostly focus on renovation and remodeling. But my best advice on the building process would be to budget for a lot more time than you originally thought. Mm. Yeah, I am. In fact, I plan on just staying private for a while. So keeping my original customers and just keep doing what I'm doing before I go full public. So it's going to be a quiet opening and then a soft opening and then a public opening. Yeah, that's really good advice. Thanks, Lou. In fact, this is agricultural land, so I'm planning on living on it, and that is one of the reasons why people trust me, because it's not going to be one of those boarding facilities where nobody's there overnight. I'm practically living there, so people can kind of trust the fact that their dog is in good hands. That and I have a YouTube channel that a lot of people don't have, and I work with working dogs, and my niche is I'm going to, for now, um, boarding is going to be the bread and butter. Training is going to be my niche, and I hopefully can have like a membership where I'm not just boarding any dog. I want to train these dogs to be not just sociable, but learn obedience while they're at the facility. That way I can kind of, call it the school for dogs, but it's going to be like Montessori. That's my goal. And then from there, once they become successful, I want to expand and create my own working dog. The training of the dog really depends, Locke. Locke asks, how much do I charge? Right now, on the regular dog, I charge about $80 a day, regardless if it's an hour or if they're boarding. Um, if it's an aggressive dog, it's over $100 a day because my liability. So far, I haven't needed any stitches, but because I wear armor. But and I mean, talk about psychological warfare, just like trading. And you never know when those dogs are gonna, go the other way and bite you in the ass. But so far, everything's been good. You should check out my other channel if you like dogs, or my Instagram, Citizen Canine. I post a lot of dog pictures. I have some little cute boarding dogs, and I have some pretty nasty dogs. I guess it's really hard to find because Citizen Canine's everywhere. They're in India. Excuse me. They're everywhere. So it's still going sideways. That is not a really good sign. But the rest of them I'll be out at the highs of 122-ish. Let's see. Wannabe Trader asks, are the big caps not better to day trade because they turn more, so catching lows and highs are more profitable and safer rather than lower stocks? Generally, yes, because there are a few things that make um, large caps easier to trade. One is the spread. A lot of times the spread is really tight, like 1 or 2 cents. But it takes a lot to make a large cap move, and so you have to have a little bit of catalyst to actually make a profit, unless the range is nice. Sometimes let's just say if the stock is $500 and it moves 10 cents in like an hour, I don't know if that's worth your time because unless you have a huge account. Um, so mid caps are generally where I'm at. That way I can really throw in 1,000 shares or something like that. Or if I need to double up on something or scale in, scale out, it's a little bit easier on something like that over, something $500. Let's see, it's more profitable, safer. So yeah, it's safer, but I wouldn't honestly say it's been a while since I've seen something worth countering, unless there's a catalyst. Like I think Tesla just had one. Walmart wasn't cheap either. Wasn't Walmart in the where is it? So this morning, Jeremy Newman did Microsoft, and that's $160. I think that's considered the large caps, but that's when it's over $100. Say you have $100,000 buying power, which is general for a day trader, then you can only buy 1,000 shares, and if it only goes 10 cents, that's not much, but it's not bad either. $100. Um, Let me know if you need me to elaborate on that. I'm not sure if I answered it correctly. Hey, what's going on, Martis? What's mostly the time you ride the trade? Well, ideally, I want to be here in the market um, 3 15-minute candles later, because I'm always trying to find that one stock that has an exponential move on 3 15-minute candles, which is 45 minutes after the open. After that, then I'm always looking, even during lunch. Lou Gonzalez, wow, that's pretty awesome. The Montessori for canines, yeah, that's my goal. I mean, the last thing I want is a bunch of just reckless dogs. I mean, they all get temperament tested, right? But if they all can listen to me and they all can obey, well, not obey, but you know, actually respect me, then we got a pretty awesome class. Can you imagine a class of 20? When I tell them to sit, they all sit, take a good picture. It looks good. Alex says, also add, it depends on your style. Yeah, that's true. Alex asks, is there a reason you don't seem to trade reversals in a consolidating range? I trade the reversals after the consolidating range, actually, because if it's consolidating, there is a potential for that spike. And that's why I wouldn't reverse it. I wouldn't want to wait. Say something is going up and it trends sideways. A lot of times it gets squeezed, right? And it's a very subtle bull flag, if you will, and it'll spike up. So I wouldn't short it until I see that spike. I mean, that's just by from my experience what I see all the time. I'm always looking for that shape, and I do collect charts. That's like counter trading porn, right? You collect the sexiest chart just to remind you what you're looking for. Want to be trader, that's good, and big caps can be too expensive, like you said. Yeah, it can be too expensive. Excuse me. In fact, in my trade ideas here, I have a small cap scanner here that announced euros just not too long ago. Oh, actually, guys, take a look at euros. Look at that move right there. How it just spiked up right there. I mean, under $5, guys. Under $5. 20,000 shares is maximum for some of you with a very small day trading account, very small pattern day trading account, if you will, not a sure trader account. But look at that. Can you anticipate that it's a possible short? I would say yes. The chances are pretty high there. This is a beautiful chart. Actually, I should be shorting it now, but I really don't know why I'm just talking and not shorting it. Because I'm stuck in this silly thing that I should be just focusing. I try my best not to do two stocks at a time, but just keep an eye out on euros. It has some room to go. I should announce it on the chat room if nobody's doing it. Here's has good shape. And so yeah, that's more or less what I'm looking for. It's very simple. I mean, I don't like to use a lot of stock trading lingo. Um, the best the best adjective, I think that's an adjective. The best adjective I will describe something I'm looking for is shape. I want an exponential, parabolic shape and the volume and the and the stock itself, and in all time frames. That would be the ultimate. Um, I mean, if somebody's asking me what I'm looking for, it really is that exponential shape. And if you look at Eros, EROS, that's marked in the small cap right here. it has that shape and it's going to go. Now, if it doesn't go according to your plan, it's because you're too greedy. Because I'm looking at it right now, and it really looks like it's going to go. If it fakes you out, then you were still too greedy, right? Because you probably put in too many shares and you couldn't get out in time to to find where it would actually go. What's going on, Clayton? What market are you operating? What market? Just stocks. I don't do like you should ask me what markets I avoid. I'm going to avoid all China stocks the best I can, and I'm going to avoid like gas and stuff like that in general. Unless you're asking if I'm like trading Nasdaq or something like that. No, I just trade them all. I don't discriminate. Barry just announced that he bought PVG at the dip. Some of these guys in the chat room buy some, really look at some large price stocks. And I'm noticing some of these people. Ooh, gotta watch out. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. It just did a little pop there. Now my exit will be in the 122s, but I'm hoping this pop is just the wind, the spy. Hold on 1 second, guys. Need to answer a few questions. Okay, so what were we saying? Let's see. What market are you operating? Albert, you should check out a documentary called The China Hustle. Is that from Vice? I think I sounds familiar. Um, I'll check it out about a Chinese company doing shady stuff on the stock prices. Yeah, they do. I mean, they are communist, and I'm in a utopian world. I'm assuming all of us are adults here. In a utopian world, we know this. It would work, but humans are selfish, so there's no way communism would work. Just because, and that and China is a prime example. Or are they socialists? Same shit. So everybody's supposed to share everything. Nobody's going to bother trying to be really good at something. And why? Because the government has all the money anyway. So, and those mofos are rich. And I know there's a Vice documentary about all these super rich Chinese, beautiful people, you know, young people that are going to college, um, community college in California. That's where all the governmental children, government officials send their children over um, to live a life of luxury, to hide their money. I mean, they're riding Lambos, you know, they're and you know, people try to interview these beautiful girls, like, where do you get your money from? And they're not allowed to talk about it, you know, because they don't want to end up on the news and people hear about the corruption. I mean, that's the same with stocks. If stocks go the wrong way and the government doesn't like it, then they'll tell you to sh- shut the fuck up and get out. You know, just and that's what happened to me when I had my I had my first panic attack. It was a stock, my very first stock that halted, and I was in a little too heavy, obviously, because I cared too much, and I was a newbie, right? I mean, not Jeremy newbie, but I was a new person. So they, yeah, so it was bad. Fucking China, man. They're so corrupt. They can just stop anything. I know. Also heard. I have some black friends that have ancestry in Africa. They would tell me they went back to Africa, and whenever they want, they'll just shut off the electricity. Uh, Things in this world just, yeah, get out of here. I mean, China stocks are so corrupt. I just lost my track of what I was thinking about. But yeah, oh, I remember now. Oh yeah, so if you're interested, check out my Instagram. Citizen K9. That's what I was gonna show you. I don't like what this thing is doing right now. How it's just going sideways because it could just do another pop. Let me double check real fast. It's been a while. Daily looks like that. Um, 15s. Look at that. It could be resetting itself. So yeah, for sure, just so I make sure I have a good day. But you see this right here? This candle right here is 121.96. That's where we're at right now. Where this candle's high was at. See how I can draw a line from here to here? Fives, same thing. Who's that guy that owns Alibaba? Jack Ma? How everyone says he's so smart. Dude's not. He's controlled by the government. He's not China's Elon Musk. If you oh you guys should check out a YouTube video and search Jack Ma with Elon Musk. You could tell how Elon Musk is trying his best not to think that Jack Ma is an idiot. The dude is, I mean, he's obviously rich for a reason, but it's all about connections, and he has a lot of connections with corrupt government, and he. I'm starting to sound like a hater, so I'm gonna stop talking. But Chinese people don't like him very much. because he's just a face. He's a facade of China. Hey, you too, Alex. Have a great weekend. Oh, okay. Looking back, check out documentary, but it's really good. Okay, cool. I'll check it out. Um, Clean Locust, China, Brazil. Oh yeah, corruption. Yeah, probably. Bjorn, hey, I saw your question about the asking about posting my entry, and I put it right here. Here's the red line. I'm gonna keep it there. If I average up, which I won't though, I'm probably just gonna get out at the highs of 122.03 ish, and then if it starts looking good again, I'll add. But ideally, and the reason why Bjorn asked why don't you just leave the entry even if you have the average, it is because I don't want multiple lines, and it's and in order to change the color, unless there's a way that I'm not aware of, I have to go to edit properties and change the color. It would be great if I could have the color and quickly change the color to show you my entries. But your question is, do you have time to lay a quick eye on? Oh, sure, Nestle. What is the ticker? Nestle's ticker. What is it? S NSRGY? Is that right? NSRGY. Is it NSRGY, Bjorn? Or is it a are we talking about Swiss? NESN. Could you type the ticker for me, please? Oh, it's Nest. Okay, hold on 1 second. Is it just Nest? NEST? Okay, hold on. I don't. I'm not coming up with anything. Bjorn, if you could, just let me know. Let me check what Locke was talking about, that China hustle. Oh, it's a movie. Okay. Yeah, it's not available for me to see, sorry. Hey, what's going on, Emilio? Is it morning still? Yeah, here it is. Good morning, Emilio. It's a movie. I can't watch it. Can't watch it, Lock. It's rated R. Oh, you're welcome, Bjorn. I mean, but yeah, guys, if that's one of the reasons why I'm here. If you want me to take a look at one of your stocks, then I'm more than happy to share my thoughts. I had somebody yesterday ask me, what is the formula, or what, how am I so zen when I'm trading? I think it comes from experience. Um, and for me, it's numbers. For me, it was about me not lying to myself, because we can all say, I feel fine, and then you check your blood pressure, and you're not fine, right? So I'm just referring to when I was saying I had panic attacks. So obviously, I'm not a natural at this. There were times, but I was also having other issues because I retired from teaching because I had something called that was suspected to be like a tortuous carotid artery. I had some huge headaches. I had a headache that kept me in bed for over a week, and that and because it was like a mystery headache, and I had these headaches so bad that I couldn't function. I would lose over 10 pounds in a week. It wasn't a migraine, it was something different. So so then I had to retire from teaching for that reason. It wasn't because I didn't like it anymore. So so the mentally that would really mess you up in the head, uh, about how your endurance, and you question your own health all the time. At least I did. And so, man, this stock is so stubborn. Look, it just goes sideways. At least it's holding that area. It's holding that this area right here. Well, I digress. So that's why I just yeah. How do I find Zen, or how do I get calm? Is literally learning to truly file away my emotions. I file it away. I'm sure there's better ways of doing it. I'm sure women do it better in a certain way. They actually deal with it, and then they get over it. I file it away, and then it may come back to haunt me later on. Usually in the weekends. Last weekend was pretty bad, but um, I mean it wasn't a bad emotion. It was just more like I have no idea what to do now because I've been trading pretty rigidly for a week. Even though if it's an hour out of the day, it affects my sleep, and then and it changes my mindset. Um, you become a different kind of animal when you have to deal with things, right? So now when I trade, there are no hidden emotions really. It just kind of you just kind of just let it go because that's just how it goes. For me, it was, and I'm sure it's even harder for some, but for me, it's the fact that you can never be 100%. That's the hardest part because in life, we're always raised to be the best. At least you try to be. If you're proud about something, you want to be 100% at it. You never tell yourself, I want to be 80% at something. I want to be. And if you got 100, you'd be pissed off because you were aiming for an 80. That never happens. At least in school. You're always aiming for perfection. So even if you're one of those people that says, well, a B is fine, but would you be happier with a 100? Probably. But if you aim that way in trading, you'll fail. So the more you pursue perfection, the more you're going to fail psychologically. So that's how trading is, in my opinion, psychologically. If you want to be comfortable in trading, admit to yourself that there is no way you're going to be the best at it. And by the time you admit to that, you're probably going to be the best trader you can be as an individual. Bjorn, lovely how you interact with your viewers. Thanks. That short red line is great. Do you see it? It's just tiny though. Maybe I can make it thicker. Oh, I can make it dotted. Oh, width. Let's try 3. Oh, there it is. It's bigger. So it's been, what, almost 45 minutes since my entry? How annoying is that? And it's still up there. It may be one of those, a counter trends nightmare, that kind of just stays with there and never comes back. And that could be me not listening to Double Dip's, not taking it as seriously as I should have when he mentioned that housing is up or something to that case. But it should dip. It should go down a little bit at least. I mean, even here suggests that it should dip a little bit. Right? Double dip? I mean, a double dip would be nice. Like a dip and another dip right here, down here. Is that why you have your name Double Dip? I don't know. But I said that poll yesterday, asking if you want me to leave it on. I think 70% said it doesn't matter. So more or less my poll is just meaningless. Oh. No. I did it again. I ruined the chart. I don't know how to get it back. Crap. Let me just do it again. Remake it. Double click? Are you serious? Oh. Wannabe Trader says, can you talk about scaling in and out at what points? I can talk about it, but I don't think it's easy. It's easier talking about how to scale out while I'm doing something, I think, because everything is relative to what it looks like and how I'm trading it, right? Okay, CB, next time I'll try that, because this is like the third time I accidentally zoomed in and it wasn't quite a zoom in. It changed the range, and then it added a whole bunch of space at the end. So yeah, I'll try double clicking next time. Thanks. Messed it up again. I'll try it aftermarket. Thanks, CB. So like something like this, for instance, will I? The question would be like, will I scale in? Will I add some more if it comes down? Maybe. If if it actually shows any volume. But look at that, 3,000, 4,000, 2,000, and this is intraday, 1 minute. You need to ask yourself if there's conviction. If it looks better, scale in. That's more or less. Can you talk about scaling in and out? What points? Okay, well, with the points, it would always be the trigger based on like with something like this, triggering on a one would be futile, right? Because it would have triggered here, here. It's just too close. So you look a little bit further and see if you can find a good trigger. For me, the trigger would be down here, or right here would be a starter, right? If you want to scale extra some in, trigger here for a break over here. That's usually the case. You want to be a little bit before or in between, but you need conviction to know why. So for this case, now I was looking at the VWAP, right? But I doubt that applies to this chart anymore. But let's just assume it did. Just to give you an idea why I would scale out or scale in this one. Definitely not scale out because I'm already out half. So I would there are these trend lines here. Oh, good, great. The thing my entry is still there. There's a trend. There's an area here of support, an area here, and right now it's getting tighter. So these are, you know, 1, 2, 3, maybe even four areas of support. Those will be areas, significant points of if you wanted to scale in. I wouldn't scale in here because it's getting close, very close to the VWAP, and a lot of times things happen more or less on the VWAP. I don't know how to trade with the VWAP. I just know how to exit with the VWAP. I know a lot of people see it touch the VWAP, then they enter knowing that it's going to go past. Sometimes it just goes back up. I don't know how people do it. If you have an idea, then I'd love to chat about that. But you know, I'm kind of stuck in my ways already. So I'll use either the the 5 minute 9 EMA for something fast. So let me just go ahead and just show you that one. 5 minute 9 EMA is basically a short way of saying in the studies, looking for the exponential moving average. Under moving average, look for moving average exponential, and this will be the 5 minute. I mean, this will be the 1 minute 9 EMA, and this will be the 5 minute 9 EMA, and it's already touched right there. So that would have been a scalp, and you may have used that to exit. Um, that's not scaling out, of course. That's just me telling you how I would figure out where to exit a stock, but it's relatively the same thing. Knowing how to get in and out is to find conviction on what areas to make a move. Basically, this isn't actually a bad look because if you notice, every time it makes a pop, it just kind of comes down. I'm just trying to convince myself, but of course, like I said, I'm out over 122. If you really want to know more about scaling in, you may want to check out Jay Newby's action on the newbie trading because he scales in. I notice he scales in a lot. Um, if I scale in, it's because my entry was small, and if it's small, I want to get bigger just to make this worthwhile until I have a full size. And for some people, full size would be something in relation to like I could make 500 or I could lose 500, like a 1-to-1 ratio or something like that. The best way to ask next time wannabe trader is Find a stock that you think may work on the counter trend scanner or something that you see yourself. Ask me to look at it, and then I'll tell you exactly how I would trade it if I were to scale in and out. But personally, I don't scale in much anymore. A lot of time I just get in full size, and then I'll take out if I'm not in the right place, and the chart looks like it's going to hit another high. And I'm talking about short, by the way. It hit another high, and then I want to make sure I'm close to that point of reversal. Yeah. You're welcome, Wannabe. I really feel like I'm just not ranting, but I'm blabbering now because that's a really tough, loaded question. Bjorn, do you have any good tips for a website talking about false breakouts? False breakouts, like a breakout that doesn't work. I try to do a lot of coding in a Swedish software called AutoStock. Cool. That's cool. And find false breakouts are really good. I'm gonna have to research exactly on what false breakout means. Or is that when a breakout isn't? Let me just Google that real fast. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Something that something that breaks out the previous high and then just comes right back. Well, that's something I'm always looking for. In fact, that's what I was looking for on low. I wanted to break. Sometimes a lot of people say I wanted to touch that high and then reverse, but then I'll say I'm always saying I want to touch that high. I may enter there, but if it breaks out with a lot of volume, that's even better because a lot of times it drops, and that's based on that false breakout, right? That's basically the definition of the false breakout that I'm envisioning. I'm seeing here on Google charts where large false breakout, small false breakout, basically it spikes up and it comes back down, creating these breakouts. Well, false breakouts, according to that, that's not even the highs. That's just like a spike for next drop. And I guess you could have seen that in those Bollinger Bands in the VWAP band. Like say, let's look at Bollinger Bands then. It's been a while. Like this right here, where it breaks out and it comes back down, breaks out, comes back down. This one right here, this is sad. I'm like in the middle of it. But these two right here, breaks out, comes back down. I guess that could be considered false breakouts. Possibly. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong, but that to me is sounds about right. And this is why, guys, I try not to complicate everything because there's so many things that you could be calculating that it'll just slow you down, including this computer, as it has 5 softwares going on. Regardless of how much memory it has, it's just going to be slower, and you don't want to be slower when you're a day trader. So if you use less studies and your strategy is that simple, then everything's a little bit clearer and more coherent. Looks like it's going to go against me here. That's sad. I think it just hit 122. A breakout of 122 and I'm out. Gonna have to type it into Discord. So it touched the high. I'm still in. Just want to see. Okay, I'm out. Ah, that sucks. But you know, that's just how it goes, guys. Sometimes you just can't. You just can't. Just 1 second. One second, guys. So I pretty much broke even on this one, but 1 second. Yeah, okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm just trying to explain to them why. So that one I think I pretty much broke even. I'm up like $30, but yeah, that's pretty much breaking even. Well, at least that stock got me. That stock got me like a lot of an hour and a half with you guys just to explain what's going on. I think I think that's win or lose. I think that actually helps you guys see what's going on. And Bear says sorry AD took low long on that consolidation break. Well, you asshole. let, let me see if there's a let me see if there's a oh, I'll see you, Emilio. Have a good one. Let me see if there's like a middle finger here. Where's the middle finger? Here it is. Okay. All right. Let's see. Are you selling any dogs? No, I don't sell any dogs. I do have a list of people that entrust me on my opinions or on my picks because I work with a lot of shelter dogs, and there's a lot of good shelter dogs out there. But you know, all of them, not all of them, but most of them have a little bit of an issue. Like for instance, the most recent dog that I just worked with, she was awesome. A part of me just wanted me to keep her because I know that if she was with me for another few months, then she'd be awesome. Generally, I work with working dogs that are super high drive. I call them dogs on crack. Not that I know what crack is like, but they're crazy. They're always barking. They're always so driven, but they're the best student because you know the best student is the one that really wants to learn. So they're hyper. But this one, it's always nice every now and then to have a another dog that just comes in and is just all she wants is just to come up and just chill with you. I mean, that's just it's the sweetest dog I've met in a long time. But the issue with her was she came down from Canada because she bit somebody that was a jogger. So, you know, I can't really recommend her to just the average person because she needs more exposure and she needs someone who's confident, you know, stuff like that. So, but every now and then I'll find a dog that doesn't have any issues. But you know, every dog has an issue. Even us, every one of us has an issue. It's just, you know, if you bit somebody, then that's a liability for some people. So here's a picture of the dog that I just worked with. Her name's Jewel. She has this tiger stripe merle pattern. She's a pit bull, obviously. You can see her pattern better, like right here. She's pretty awesome looking, really strong. She, to me, she looks just like the dog in John Wick with the stature, and she always gives you these sad puppy eyes. It's just heartbreaking. But yeah, she's Jewel. She's up for adoption. I trained her. She, I mean, when she's even though when she's low drive, she has these puppy moments where she like kind of runs around, and she has these dog moments where she sees a squirrel and she wants to just lunge. So I had to teach her to be able to how how to manage the leash. So if she feels pressure, she doesn't like yank the child off the leash, you know. She was a good one. She was a really good one. Real sweet dog. Here is she giving me that side eye while she sits real funny like this. This dog. And here's her sleeping. Beautiful dog. And you know, if I can guarantee you, not that that's what I'm looking for in her, but if somebody yells at you or does something wrong, she will protect you for sure. And there you go, Bear. Looks like it's working out for you. Now, from that breakout of low, it actually starts looking even better. It's actually looking a lot better for reversal. But, you know, resetting itself, let me erase that drawing there. How much do you charge to train a dog? Hey, Dewey, I charge, depending on the dog and in their scenario. Basic obedience doesn't really need me to board them, but if it's behavioral, like a therapy issue, like if they're not coping with life very well, if they have a lot of anxiety and stress, then I'll board them. And if it's a shelter dog, I charge $50 or less. If it's a good dog that just needs obedience, then it could just be $50 as well. But I won't do boarding. If it's boarding, then it'll be 100, near 100. And if it's a bite, if it's a dog that has a fear aggression, that basically the owner's about to give up on them, then it really is dependent, because I'm not trying to tell them it's going to cost 120 and they can't afford it, so they're going to get rid of their dog. You know what I mean? So I may charge even less. But if they're, if if they're in a good place in life and they're worried that their dog is going to bite their child, then I'll charge my regular fee of over $120, and I'll make sure that dog doesn't do anything. Because a lot of times these dogs just need to understand the severity, you know? And a lot of people are too soft-handed when it comes to those kind of dogs. Because if you're about to bite a child, that's not real fear aggression unless they're afraid of children. A lot of them are afraid of children, but some of them are just not happy with the pack order of things. You know what I mean? So you need to you need to really get on their case and show them that whatever Dad says or Uncle Albert says, you need to comply, or else you may lose your life. You may lose your home. You can't really reason that with a dog. You have to be able to correct them immediately and not worry about the repercussions of them retaliating and biting back. Stuff like that. Dewey says, I trained my dog in 2 days. He now can control and stand on 2 feet if I ask, but I have to give a treat big enough. Albert, small treats, he won't do it. Oh, okay. That's awesome, Dewey. That's great. 2 days must be a really smart dog. So he's driven by food, right? Um, in life, your rewards are randomized, and so that's what happens with your dog. Do that every day, and don't reduce the value of the treat. I would say randomize the value of the treat. So um, one day when he does it, tell him to do something else, and then give him the treat. Randomize it. So then he'll never know when to expect that treat. And that's what you see in like competitions, where you tell them to do things, you'll never hear them praise their dog until the very end, because their dog needs to do the entire routine, like a dozen things before they get one huge jackpot, right? So I think that's the best way to go about. You just have to um, intermittently receive the reward, kind of like trading. You're not going to win every trade, but if you lose the first 5 trades, even though you know statistically you're right, you're not going to change anything. You're going to pretend, you're going to just basically say, statistically, if I lost 5, that means there are many more wins around the corner, even though that's not how statistics work. But it that's basically how things are. So if your dog's that as smart as you say he is, which I believe you, then randomize the reward. Make sure he doesn't. Um, it also depends on the age of the dog. Children want the reward now and wants it immediate. So yeah, training is always positive with lots of reward, and then when you expect it, they should do it, and then intermittently, every other time, every 2 or 3 times, etc. Okay, I'm just gonna look away on STT, because even though a part of me wants to revenge trade, this right here, well, actually, that looks good. Hold on one sec. Let me give a reason why not to. No, that looks good too. That's the daily. So next stop probably be around here, possibly at 122.75. That's like 50 cents away. So need to be careful. There's a drop, but it was a subtle drop. So let me see if I can find something else. Otherwise, I may just close this chat, even though according to the poll, y'all just rather me just leave this on. Is that what you guys want? Could I get a real quick poll right now? Do you want me to leave this chat on? I'm just gonna close the camera and make sure that the mic is on mute. But then you can at least see what's going on the charts here for you to assess a possible trade. What do you guys think? Yes or no? Yes, leave it on, or no, close it. Stream's too long. Oh, hey, Yanko. Nobody's saying anything. I think it's the delay on YouTube, or it really doesn't matter, does it? So yeah, I think I'm going to call it today. So this week I'm a little over. Actually, I don't want to say it out loud because my wife is probably going to hear it. But I made some good money. And if you go through my previous streams, then you'll probably get the idea. Yes, and oh, you want me to leave it open and leave the red line for entry? I already took it down, Bjorn. But let me see. What was it? Um, my entry was 121.94. Oh, you want to? I guess you want to see if it'll still actually work, right? 121.94. It was right here, but the actual entry was back here. Okay, and there it goes again. It goes back to its default of a really thin line. Hopefully you can see it. Let me just broaden it for you. Right there. But then, yeah, if I were still chasing it, which I wouldn't, because it did the consolidation here, and then it did a breakout, which gives it more room to move a lot more. Okay, um, if the chart did something like I don't know if I can draw like a random line, can I? What's this thing? Oh, it does a Fibonacci. There's the Fibonacci. Um, no, I can't. I'll just try to draw it out. If it went down and it spiked up here, then I would be exiting, or I guess scale out, like maybe one half. And if it went higher, I may scale out some more, but most likely I'll just scale out here and then wait till it comes up here, and then possibly what the previous person asked, a fake breakout, a false breakout, and then hopefully it'll come straight back down. But this one went sideways, so it's resetting itself for a possible move back up. And that's what Bear said on the chat room. He entered on the consolidation because he knows that if it consolidates, it's a good. This is basically a pullback, a small pullback for a re-entry for a breakout for the previous high, and it's going to stay up there. And now it's, if anything, shorting this is questionable for another consolidation. You know, it's not exactly the best shape. I'll leave it on. Okay. Uh, Um, are you out? Red line can go. Oh yeah, I'm out. Yeah. Sorry, Bjorn. I probably just talked over you. I think I mentioned it. Get on the chat room. I always post my ins and outs. But yeah, I was. Let me show you right here. I was out right here at the break at 122.03 actually because of the level 2 spread right here. But then But I should. There's actually 3 lines, Bjorn. Let's see. Where was I? I was out 121.76 down here. I caught some of my profits down here, and that's basically why I broke even because I made a lot more money down here, but then it went against me, and I was out here. Even though it looks like I made more money down here than up here, the market's always against you because of the spread. You're always never going to get the best number when you buy the stock, or in this case you short the stock, and then you cover it down here. There's always a little bit of a gap. So yeah, it does look like it, or maybe it was 122.04. Let me see. Yeah, it was actually a little bit higher. Can I raise this thing? No, I can't. But you get the picture. It was a break even. I was plus 30, which basically means I broke even on this one. But yeah, yeah, so I hope that explains things. But yeah, I'll leave it on for you guys. And then I guess on the timeline of this stream, I'll mention when okay, let me just type it here just to say, so if anybody asks any questions, I guess you could leave the questions here, but I won't answer for quite a while because I'm not here really. So let me just type it here in their comments. This will be Eastern time, right? Market time. So market time is 12:32. 12:32 p.m. Leaving chat open. AFK, away from keyboard. This brand is the devil's work. Yes, it is. All right, guys. Thanks for following along, and hopefully you figured out how, well, in this case, how things don't when things don't work. At least at least we don't at least we don't bomb entirely, right? At least we break even, and sometimes we go red, but that's just how trading is, and we try to control and manage our risk. So take care, guys. I'm gonna close this right here, and I'm going to and I'm gonna mute my mic, and I'll come back if I see something good. Cheers. I'm gonna mute this mic, and I'll come back if I see something good. Cheers. I'm gonna mute this mic.
FSLR.
Okay, I lied. I was just checking to see if the mic was working, and I'm just realizing right now that my mic isn't even the one taking the sound. It's the Logitech. So that was a lesson. Check out FSLR. There's some volume going on there. That means this whole time, if I just walked away, you could have heard everything. You could have heard me just cussing or practicing my karaoke. But this tank, this is dropping for a reason. But seriously, take a look at this, and yeah, if I were you, I would try to predict if your entry points and see how much money you could be making off of it. I'll put the level 2 down here so you can have an idea of the spread. It's 2 cent spread. So if you don't have your own computer in front of you, this is what we're looking at here. You can probably draw a trend line down here. This low was 52.75. That's a good area. I like the 75s, 80s area. And right now it went down to 52.91. But yeah, it's up to you if you want to take it. But I gotta I gotta get going. So that means I actually have to end this stream because I can't mute the audio on this thing because the audio is actually coming from this camera and not my Yeti right here. And so that totally explains why my mic sound is like crap. And also, just the past yesterday and today, I didn't know because I don't look at my videos that I was only on 720. Um, I wasn't I wasn't in HD 1080. So now I'm in 1080 the past two streams. So if you're wondering, you can go to the settings and be able to see the chart a little bit better. But yeah, I'm gonna close this, and if I do find an entry, I'll get back on.